Okay, take 3.
Okay.
4, 3, 2.
Okay, so I'm here with the Ceriatone 50 watt Plexi cloned that I ordered. I ordered this back in, I don't know, September. And I got the sticker on here, says 11 January 2023. So right on a transformer, Plexi 50 watt output transformer. So OT. This is the laid down transformer here. So it's pretty accurate to an old Plexi. It's a couple of differences. Like, just tilt it back so you can see. It's got the rocker switches here, like a really old JTM, because the JMPs. Well, it has the toggle switches. It would have had rocker switches. It was a JMP, but we won't split hairs. Actually, some of the JMPs had these. Some of them actually had a third switch for polarity, but they figured out they didn't need them. It's got the old style indicator light, which I think is so cool. And it's got your basic control layout on the EQ. Now this is like my JMP 100 watt super bass or my Lemmy head. It's different than a 800 series. This has the presence, bass, middle, treble, and it's got your 2 channel 1 and channel 2 volumes. Now this one I'm really psyched to see if I can get the Lemmy sound out of it, which would be the presence up here, the bass all the way off, the middle all the way up, the treble pretty much down, and these 2 things dimed out. This amp only goes to 10. Okay, it's not like Nigel Tufnell's that goes to 11, but it does have the 4 inputs, like the old, I think it was the 2203 or whatever. Well, it's like a 1992 or old 1986. This is actually a 1986 JMP, model 1986, not from the year 1986. And we're going to turn it around. And this thing has got some weight to it. The chassis is made out of pretty decent sheet metal. This is pretty good gauge sheet metal. It's pretty heavy. So the back has, from my right, be your left, it starts with the effects loop here. So it has the send and return, which is really cool because the real Marshalls didn't have these. It's got your impedance selector, okay, which doesn't have the little rotary switch or the plug-in thing. It's actually got a dial, which is cool. Your speaker outs, okay, and these have the metal cliff jacks on them, not the plastic ones, which I like. This is a really cool feature. This is the bias for the tubes, so you can test the bias without actually pulling this chassis out. You just put your probe in. I think it's 35 milliamps or something like that. You have your half and full, which is another great feature of these, because you can run this at 50 watts or you can knock it in half to 25 watts, which I'm really psyched to do, because then I can crank it at half power and get that distorted sound that I'm hoping for. Your 2 fuses, I just checked, there's fuses in them. And you have your power supply, which this is the reminiscent of the old style Marshall type. I have a couple of newer ones in there that I just bought. So this is going to get tubes, and this is actually your bias adjust right here. So you plug your leads into common and one or the other, and then you just adjust your bias. It's really simple. So I'm going to see right now if this will fit into this head box, okay? So take a look at the bottom if you want. Oh, you can see that. Can you focus in on that, John?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. That is just turret board, point-to-point wiring, and that's a thick board. I mean, I'm looking at that board. That board is a nice thick piece of plastic there. The control knobs are all panel mount, front panel mounted. They're not board mounted. So this thing is very, very, very well made. His wire management skills. Nick is just super with his wire management skills. And these are, to me, they look like real Cliff jacks, the ones here, which is what Marshall would have used. If they're not real Cliff jacks, they're a pretty good facsimile. But This looks like a really quality unit. I mean, it's got some weight to it. This chassis is made out of some pretty good metal. This is not some cheap piece of crap that's gonna bend and contort and stuff. And they did a really nice job on the plexi front and back. The stenciling is just really gorgeous. You got your two caps here. I'm gonna put the 312 AX7s in, and that's where the EL34s would go. So I'm going to see if this will now fit into the head box, and I just want to test to see if the screws are going to go in the right places, because I want to make sure they're okay before I put the Tolex on it. Once I do that, I'm going to staple in. This is just regular old roof flashing, which Nick said that's what he uses. He said I could use the same thing unless there's something better at my hardware store. But this is just regular old roof flashing. I bought a set of tin snips to cut it. You don't even need it. I'll actually show you. We'll film that. How you just score it with a razor knife and then just bend it and it just kind of snaps. So this is, and we're going to staple it into the bottom of the box. And this will sit on top of it. But you got to put this stuff on. It's really necessary. So, and that's about it for this moment. We'll be back in a little bit.
5, 4, 3.
Okay, so I got right here, I got this from TRM Guitar Cabinets. He's up in New Hampshire, guy's name is Tim. He's a really nice guy. Small business, single man operation, family owned. So I needed a box for this Ceriatone head. It's not that the Ceriatone boxes are bad. There's nothing wrong with them. I just wanted something totally custom done. Also, if you order the chassis from Ceriatone without tubes and the box, you probably can get the tubes from Antique Electronics. You get a set of JJs for, last I ordered them, there was about $150 for a set to do a 100-watt head. These boxes to my door, I think, were $160 each. So if you order the whole thing from Ceriatone, it's going to cost you a little less than that, but I wanted something specific from the head box. I wanted this specific, as you can see, it's like the JMP real Marshall style. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly just get a little bit of this packing material off here. And Tim at TRM Guitar Cabinets, he's another one, packs these things beautifully. Look at this. He actually has the common sense and courtesy to put little protective wood strips on here with a little blue painter's tape, which is one of my favorite things in my toolbox. Is always have a couple of rolls of blue painter's tape. You can use them for everything, to mask off an Eddie Van Halen pattern before you spray paint your guitar, to, you put it down as the roll on your workbench, and you can use it to hold your Glock while you tear the thing apart, to knock the pins out and stuff. Blue painter's tape, I can't say enough about it. Made by 3M or any other manufacturers at this point. Anyway, I like to save these things, these little splines. They can come in handy when you're doing the grill cloths. You wrap this around the grill cloth in between two pieces of this and twist it. It makes it nice and tight for you, but we'll show you that in a different video. I am going to do a video on the grill, on changing the grill cloth. Everybody's been asking me to do one. I've done a few so far, and the videos either didn't come out very well, or they just didn't, they weren't up to my low standards. So, cut this here, and get these off. And like I said, Tim does a great job of packing these things up. Now, these boxes are made out of pine, really beautiful pine, and the fronts are made out of Baltic birch plywood, really beautiful Baltic birch plywood. I could have got the whole box made from plywood, but I didn't. One, because Baltic birch, since the war in Ukraine started, is in kind of short supply. And the other reason was I wanted something that was, I don't know how much weight it's going to save me, but I wanted something that was going to be a little bit lighter than the standard, Marshall type plywood. So, am I saving myself a few ounces here and there? Yeah, probably. Is it helping? I don't know how much. The thing too about the pine is it's a lot softer than the birch plywood. So I don't know how. I mean, it's strong. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know how it's going to, hold up. So far, the other box that I did with the 50-watt chassis in it is looking really good. And once I cover it with vinyl, if I don't want to bang these things around enough to damage the vinyl. So if I'm not banging them around enough to damage the vinyl, probably won't be doing too much to the wood. So there's my reasoning for that. But yeah, it's lighter and it's very porous. The contact cement seems to really enjoy this pine, and adhering to it because it's a nice surface to glue to. But let's get this off. Anyway, so this is kind of what you get from Tim at TRM Guitar Cabs, and I'm just gonna peel these pieces off of here. And what we have is a nice. This I would say is JMP style, but a real JMP, and this would be from a later generation. This would be like, I think, like a 1978 forward, because that's when they added the plastic corners. This is more along the lines of an 800 type of head box, and my Lemmy head has the same type of thickness here. A JMP wouldn't have this added thickness here. It would have the thicker sides, but it wouldn't have this up here. But the Lemmy head does, and the JCM 800 series does. So this is basically an 800, which is what I asked them to make, was an 800 box with a JMP style front and back. And that's what we're doing. Anyway, so this is the head box. Now I'm going to try and just eyeball it and see if the chassis will fit in. Tim did drill the mounting holes in this. On the last one, they weren't in the right places and they were moved over a ½ inch, so I had to re-drill them myself. But hey, other than that, these things are beautiful. And that's what we got right there. So we'll be back on the next episode of Uncle Robbie's Science Corner. Okay, so we're having a little problem here because Tim, I don't know if I gave him the wrong measurements. I'll have to check. But as you can see, okay, well, I tried to put these ones through and it was too far this way. I put these ones in and he got them right that way, but he got the screw holes too close together. I don't know if it was Nick's measurements that are off or mine or Tim, I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at the drawing and then check to see where the holes were. But anyway, I gotta leave a little on each side for Tolex and piping, and that's why there's a little gap here. Okay, there'll be piping all around this, gold piping to here. Okay, and it'll be white Tolex. Okay, but you can see there's a space here, and look there. So this all has to come over 1/4 of an inch, and then I have to lay the thing backwards, line these screws up, put them on, test them, and then re-drill that. So that's what's going to happen. So there's another little setback. Like I said, Uncle Robbie Science Corner, we always leave the mistakes in, but you can see these screw holes don't even match up. Okay, well, I'll figure it out. I always do, right? Anyway, so, but I mean, actually it's pretty cool looking. Check that out. Next time I order one of these from Nick, I'm going to ask him to send me an unfinished head box. So, it's just, and I'm going to have to fill these two fucking holes. I don't know, maybe I can move it over 1/4 of an inch. Crap. Anyway, all right. Well, what I'll try is drilling these holes first because I got more room for error on that side. So, just going to have to figure this out. All right. Okay, so you can see here, okay, this dimension's off a little bit. And when we slide this over here, you can see that this dimension here is off a bit. So we're going to have to slide this all over 1/4 inch. I'm going to have to fill these 2 holes with wood filler. I'm going to drill these first, the ones on this side first, because I have more wood to bite into on this side. So I'm going to actually take this, put the square on it, mark it off. Like I said, I only need about 1/4 inch. So I'm going to mark it off here 1/4 inch. I'm going to line this edge up to the new mark. And I'm going to square these off and see if I can get the holes somewhat lined up, and then we'll test fit it again. But yeah, something happened here. Because, yeah, this is 1/4 inch too far this way. And this one, the holes are, as you can see, about 1/2 inch off. So I don't know if it was his measurements or my measurements. I'm going to measure the screw holes, though, and see what it is, and then go back to the drawing and see who's at fault. Not like it really matters, but that's just something I got to fix. But anyway, so I'm going to re-drill these right now. So this is the front of the amp, and you can see right there, oh, just about 1/2 inch too far on one side. So I'm going to have to go get the drill right now and re-drill it. At least the holes are in semi the right spot. I just have to move the holes over 1/2 inch. And then I'll, of course, test it out, see if it works, and then I have to go in and fill the old holes with grain filler, which will be a lot of fun. And, of course, I won't have to drill through the grain filler on this one because he left me enough wood with the one hole to do it. So, okay, I don't even know why I bothered sending me measurements for the holes. But, hey, what can I tell you? It's always something here on Uncle Robbie Science Corner. Ain't that just about a bitch? Shit. All right, anyway. Enough for now. Damn. All right, so what I'm going to do here, since these holes are not drilled in the right place, what I'm going to do is get this squared up to the edge, right? Because we want all of our, my dad always used to tell me, always be level, straight, and square, which I really didn't achieve any of those, so sorry about that, Dad. But he did teach me enough about woodworking and cabinet making to do something like this. So what I'm doing is I'm splitting right here. Pretty much I'm putting the ruler just halfway across the holes, and I'm just going to draw a nice little fine line down there. Oops. Didn't really want to draw. Maybe I should get a better Sharpie marker. But let's just see. Okay, so have my pencil line there, and then I'm going to go on this side and do the same thing right here. Okay, on this one. Gonna get that lined up. Give you a better idea of what it looks like when I'm doing this. I'll give a bigger marker too. We're gonna let's get this squared up here, right down the center of those 2 holes. Okay. And this is all fine science and craftsmanship. I'll just hold my hand there and put a line. Oh, well, it's not exactly center, so you want to keep it as center. And the thing is, I already did match these bolt holes up to the chassis, so okay, well, Now what we're going to do is we're going to move this over 1/2 inch. Okay? So what we do is we get a ruler and we come this way. Alright. We got to move it over to about 1/2 inch. We're going to move it 1/2 inch. I'm figuring 1/2 inch because just about right there. And we'll take another one here. Right there. Okay. And we'll get our square. Back up here, square. There's a lot of measuring to be done when you're doing this kind of carpentry work. But, so we got that lined up. Alright. And just make a line here all the way down the edge. And now from the center there, we'll, it's about here, right? And this one, from hole to hole. Yeah, look at that. Okay, got both holes. Make that one right about here. So we're going to drill at these 2 points. There and there. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. On the other side. Get this focused over there. I'll show you. Okay. Because it was 2 inches from here to the edge of the cabinet, and the other side it was 3 inches from there to the edge of the cabinet. So I'm going to split the difference and call it 1/2 inch. Because of my excellent woodworking and organizational skills. Let's see, get that squared up to the edge. And now, put a line right there. Get that lined up there to there. We'll call that center mark. We'll call that center mark. Well, I can always do and we're going to hope that that is what the doctor ordered. So you can see I have to move this all over 1/2 inch. Thereabouts. As long as I have a reference mark, I know where it is, and I always do this by eyeball anyway. So I'm going to get my drill right now. Got my drill right there. And I'm going to drill a hole. And we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so what I did now is I got the new layout lines here. This is the edge where it was. I'm going to move it over 1/4 inch so you can see there's a ways. This one, not too much off, but it's not, this is where the edge would be. So this screw hole is going to be right next to that. I don't know if I can get it in there tight enough. I'm going to try it to drill the new holes, see if it fits. First I'm going to drill one hole, okay? Just to see, I'm going to see if it lines up when I flip it over. That's the most important thing. See if it lines up with the front, how that fits in. And then I'll mark out and drill the other 4, but just something else that's going to take a lot more time to get done. But anyway, not too bad. Not too much time, just a little bit of thinking. So. Okay, so now I have the holes I drilled, new holes in the bottom. Okay, and Got a little sawdust on my amp. Don't want to do that. Flushed out. Getting any wood out from in here because you never know. Amps get hot. These little pieces of wood might catch fire one of these days, and you wouldn't want that. So just brush them out. There you go. Get them all nice and cleaned out there. And we'll, okay. Slide this bastard back on here. These things are actually pretty goddamn heavy. I mean, this is good quality stuff. This is not. Yeah, it was made in Malaysia, but it was handmade by a guy in Malaysia. And I tell you what, this is boutique amp quality. Let's just see if this will fit in there now. I got it up a little bit so I can. Okay, so I got this all situated. I got the holes drilled in the right places. What I'm going to do, and you can see a little space at the top. So the box was, what I'm probably going to end up doing anyway is sawing this off, because on the last one it was so tight that I could not get it. I just could not get it. I mean, this was so tight once I put on the Tolex and the piping around the edges that I just couldn't get it to go in easy enough. So I'm going to have to take off about a saw blade's width on that edge. I have to find something with a table saw, of course, but that shouldn't be too hard. I know a lot of construction guys. So anyway, that's what it's looking like right now. But I got the chassis to fit in the box, so I'm happy. All right, next problem. We're going to put in the shielding, and we're going to paint the inside. All right, later. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to cut the shielding. What I've done is I've cut it to length. For under this, I'm going to make it 18.5, so it's under the whole thing. So I've cut it to length. I'm going to show you how I cut the width now. So I square this off. I've got it marked off. It's got to be 6 3/4 inches to fit. So what you do is you put that there, and then you take your knife and you just kind of score it here, and give a little scoring here. Oops, a little squiggly there, but let's try. If you got a good enough knife, it'll probably go right through the sheet metal, but anyway, you just take that like that, bend it down, okay? Don't cut yourself with this. The shit is sharp, and that's how you do that. See that? So now we'll take that, we'll lay that into the bottom of the cabinet, okay? We'll lay that right here in the bottom of the cabinet. We'll use the electric stapler to staple it down, all right? So there you go. Let's see, had it turned in. Okay guys, so what I'm doing here is right now I'm doing a layout for the handle. And what I did was I took the measurements off of that head, okay, that Marshall 50 watt head, okay, and I'm putting them here. So we got about 4 1/4 inches in this diameter, in this dimension rather, or this measurement. That. So we got that. And what I did. Okay guys, so we're back here with our little project, the Ceriatone, and you can see I've put some shielding down under it. Okay, and I've got that shielding pretty well centered, don't I? Pretty cool, huh? And you can see I've got the chassis bolts in, and I've got it matched. Centered rather. So I had to fill up the holes that were there, and you can see that beautiful faceplate, but what I'm going to do is just show you now that the front is going to fit right on here, just nice and even. That'll be covered with Tolex here, and this will be move one way or the other, but I pretty much got it. So there's no space in here. Maybe it could have come over this way another 1/8 of an inch, but we'll just move that there. You see, you don't see any light coming through. It's not covering the JMP. All the inputs are good. So we've kind of got this one wrapped up. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to zoom back here. And we're going to start applying the Tolex. I drilled the holes for the handle on the top. I've got the mounting bolts in the bottom, which is just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And got the inside, give it a little black paint just to dull down the inside and maybe make it look a little more ominous and foreboding. But so right now I'm going to start doing the Tolex. This is a lot of freaking work, and I'll show you on the other head box when I open that up. The one for the 100-watt head, which should be coming here Monday, but I just got a UPS notice that it's in Shenzhen, China, from Kuala Lumpur there, wherever this guy Nick at Ceriatone is, and it's stuck in China right now. It's supposed to be here Monday, so I don't know when it's going to get here, but anyway, this is the Ceriatone 50-watt, and I am so happy, because by the end of tonight, this thing is going to be fired up. All right, and keep on rocking in the free world.